Aava. Trotz Geschirr schaffst du es jetzt doch noch, dich zu verwickeln. Aha, so ist gut. Hm, Prinzessin? Aava! Ja, Aava! Was? Ziep, ziep, ziep. Geht jetzt wieder nicht schnell genug. So, und das ist der kleine Bootshafen. Let's try it in English. So this is a small boat harbor of Valkeakoski, and there's also a swimming beach there. It's called Apia, and it looks like there's actually somebody going to swim. Well, it's a warm day with +2 degrees, so no reason not to. I think I'm going to wait a couple of weeks more before I go into the water. And yeah, our way will go over those bridges, basically all around that bay. This Apia Bay. Apia means Apia Bay. And that's all in all, including the way to and from my apartment. It's about an 8.5 kilometers hike. So it's a nice short afternoon walk with 2 wolfies. Something is very interesting there. Ist ja was Interessantes, Ares? Ja, Prinzessin, Prinzessin. Warte. Oder da. Oder da. Oder da. Beep, 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 beep. Ja, beep, 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 beep. Oh, kein Leinsalat machen. Und weiter geht's. And now it's getting bright. The sun is coming out, and with all the snow still around, it's actually very bright. Didn't take my sunglasses with me. Oh yeah, and although we are well into the March, today is 20th, I think, the weather forecast says between -1 and -10 and lots of snow during the next 7 days. So really, I do like winter, but at some point it's quite enough, I think. So I don't really need lots of snow well into the April or May. you know, it's like, as I said, it's like well into March now, and it's slowly time for sun and short sleeves and, you know, those kind of stuff. Was mit dem Ziehen, ha? Aha. Big dog, big pile of shit. Ach, Aava. Ja, beep, 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 beep. Well, actually, that's an interesting question. So, is Ares a big dog? Does he qualify already as a big dog? The moment I think he is at 80 centimeters shoulder, and Aava is at 65, so she can literally walk under him, past him. And well, Aava is about as big as my Malinois male was, and I think many people would consider Aava already a big dog, but you know, when I still had my Malinois and somebody said like, oh, but it's such a big dog, I was saying like, okay, if that's a big dog, what's for example a Great Dane? And yeah, so Aava definitely is medium size, if at all. But question remains: is Ares already a big dog? I maybe half a year ago I would have said, oh yeah, it's a fucking huge big ass monster dog. But you know, now after having him for like what is it, like 6 weeks now, actually I start to see Ares size is kind of normal, and Aava goes more into the category of small dogs for me now. I don't know. But then there's of course the real small dog like this Bichon Frise, and you know, this what I sometimes like to call the running toilet brushes. No offense, well, maybe a small offense, but yeah, well, they're like, then with Aava is a small dog, then what's that, like tiny dogs or dog at all? Well, some people I mean, if I was evil I could say what some people say. It's like you know, dog starts at 40 centimeters shoulder height and 20 kilos, and everything below that is no dog at all. But you know, that would be really, really mean. So, können wir uns entscheiden, bitte? Nicht einer links, einer rechts. Schön beide. Ja, so ist es fein, Mäuse. Ja, feine Mäuse. Was, Prinzessin? Aava, mida, mida. Mida, mida, mida. Aava. Aava. Mida, mida, mida. Küsschen. Yay, Puzzle. Ja, piep, 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 ich weiß, ich weiß. Aava is a girl, she's impatient. Oh, zeep, 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 zeep. Yeah, zeep, 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 zeep. And she's dirty. She manages to get dirty even on like totally frozen over ground with snow. Aava manages to get black underneath. I have no idea how she does it, but somehow she does it. And that's actually the nice thing with Ares, because of his long legs, that his legs you might sometimes get a little bit dark, but he isn't getting that black as Aava does, who sometimes has her whole belly pitch black, and at home when she goes to the shower then it's like, I don't know, like washing a car engine or something like that. Seriously. But yeah, that's such a really nice, beautiful day. Sad thing, by the way, is that you really keep an eye on what your dogs are doing when walking here, because in Valkeakoski, as probably in some other cities, but there have been many cases recently in Valkeakoski, there is some really crashed existence, sociopathic psychopath asshole who is putting poison or pieces of meat with needles inside at the common dog routes. And yeah, the problem with wolf dogs is it's pretty much impossible to teach them not to pick some tasty food up if they find something. With my Belgians, well, the Malinois, of course, he was a trained guard dog and drug searcher and everything. So he was trained that if he found anything, food that I didn't put there, he was showing it to me, and in reward he was then getting some treats from my hand. That's a very nice method of training. And at Tervuren, well, I trained him and it worked like maybe 85% of the time, but that's not bad considering his bad past. But with wolf dogs, something like that is fairly hard, not to say impossible. Ah, there's another dog. And Ares is very interested. Aava is very interested. But the dog is going away. Oh, so no sniffing. Kommt Mäuse. Links bitte. Links bitte. Good, good. And yeah, so in the end, you have to keep an eye on what your little wolfies are doing. Oh, people. Ares loves people. Aava generally likes people. She loves children. But Ares loves like everybody. He's really extraordinary for this kind of mid-content wolf dog, because he's not shy at all. I mean, sometimes he gets his wolf moments when there's some strange noises, and he really doesn't like strange places, like strange apartments or strange buildings in general, but people, no problem at all. It's very rare that he shows any kind of being careful or distant to people. Usually he is everybody's friend, like from the first second on. The only thing he doesn't really like, or should I say, he really doesn't like drunk people, which are like obviously drunk, behaving drunk, and smelling drunk. Then he's actually putting up a brush and showing his wolf body language for "don't the fuck get closer to me." And actually once already, when some guy was coming and trying to pet him, he was growling a little bit, like, you know, just a very friendly and polite please don't come closer" growl. Nothing like with teeth or something, but you know, it definitely was enough, given his size and his wolfish appearance, that well, the guy took the hint and didn't come closer. So, aber GG. Nee, bitte nicht darum. Kein Leinsalat machen. So ist fein. Yeah, our famous, or should I say notorious, chemical factory, which used to have, like, I don't know, in the really bad times they had like an accident every week or maybe every month, and some people from the city's environment department told me that basically the whole ground sediment of the lake from there downstream is heavily contaminated, and you shouldn't really stir it up at all. That's one of the reasons, they told me, why there's a very strict speed limit here in the channel and in the harbor, or close to the harbor. With your boat you can only drive so fast or so slow that you don't do any waves, and of course officially that is to prevent damage to all the boats which are tied there. But this lady from the environment department also said it's definitely also to prevent disturbing the ground and setting free all these toxins and all this shit which is there. And yeah, of course nobody has the money here to do any kind of decontamination work, or, you know, cleaning up the mess or anything. Hallo, nicht ziehen. Nicht ziehen. Alla Wetter. But yeah. By the way, this path actually has an official name. It's called Riippusiltojen Lenkki, which means I don't know what Riippu is, but Riippusilta is are those bridges. Silta is bridge, so it means like the route or the walking route of the Riippu bridges. Hallo, nein, nein, nein. Hört mal auf zu ziehen, Mäuse. So, aber komm mal rum, du hast mich wieder eingewickelt. Aber just tied me up with a leash, and then both were pulling, and that was like with the chains, they were like about to cut my legs off. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Sniff, 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 sniff. So, kommt mal. Ares, come. Something must be very interesting about this concrete block which we passed already like 500 million times. Ah, Menschen. Ich miss it. People. And more people. So. Ares, kommst du bitte? Ares, komm. Komm, weiter jetzt. So it's good. Fine, fine. So, obviously there's more to sniff here. Nee. That's a very popular place at the moment for taking photographs, since one guy, actually a friend of mine, recently found fish otter here who was making some funny stuff on the ice, and then more people came, more photos came, and then even more people came, and then the fish otter was gone. I guess at some point it was too many people. So, Ares, geh mal weiter bitte. Hey, Trödelhund. Yep, so it's fine. Ah, there's another dog again. And that's obviously a very careful and worried dog owner. A couple of days ago I couldn't believe my eyes, actually. There was a young girl with her boyfriend and two small dogs, and I took Aava short because she's not always that friendly with other dogs, especially if they're females. Males usually are no big problem, but females, nah, no. Anyways, I took Aava short and gave Ares a little bit of leash, and one of those dogs was off leash, and it was like a tiny dog. It was like maybe like 2 hands full little black poodle stuff thingy. And this girl, she was so relaxed. She was like coming right up to Ares and starting to asking questions about the dogs, and allowing her dogs to sniff. And of course Ares was behaving like a perfect gentleman, as he always does. Aava was getting a little bit annoying, but still. And even, you know, with this super tiny, I mean like really tiny little poodle, no problem at all. So that was a small dog owner which was like really super cool and super nice, and actually knew something about dogs. But she had a food bag with her and was training this little dog, which is like almost unheard of. I mean, most people don't even train their bigger dogs or medium-sized dogs, let alone the small dog people. Usually they like if their dogs are totally out of control and behaving badly and anything, but no, that was really cool. And then she was playing high five with Ares and giving him some treats, and absolutely amazing. Totally. I wish every small dog owner was like that, like really learning about dogs and learning to read body language and to understand dogs and really training their dogs. That would be a very, very nice thing. Oh, and something is really interesting again. Sniff, 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 sniff. Ava, du machst gerade Leinsalat. Ach, Prinzessin. So, und komm weiter. Yeah, and this annoyingly bright spot there is Kirjaslampi. That is yet another swimming place, which is actually connected to the main lake. It just has some provisions. Was macht ihr da, Mäuse? It just have this concrete piers, between which are, you know, like official lanes, like, you know, like in a real swimming hall. And well, that's the main difference, and it's enclosed, so the connection to the main lake is through big pipes, but it's still a lake. So I guess you could call it an outdoor, open air, sports swimming place, something. I don't know. Very weird. So viel zu schnüffeln gibt es hier für kleine Wölfis. Du auf dem Radar, Prinzessin. Hä? Mieter, Mieter. Mieter, Mieter. Das. Nee, nicht da bitte. hier? Jetzt habe ich hier Leinsalat. So. Ah, Prinzessin muss trödeln. Yep. This strange building here is our Hotel Baltica. From what I hear, it's a reasonably good quality hotel with nice rooms. I have been at the cafe and at the restaurant a couple of times, and I can recommend it. Especially the restaurant makes pretty huge portions, and it's not overly expensive. If you go there, you should try the hamburger plate. And yeah, it's located directly at the lake, which means in summer you probably want to keep your window closed, otherwise mosquitoes are going to eat you alive. But they're anyways doing that everywhere in Valkeakoski, so nothing new there. And it has its own pier, so if you're coming by boat, you can actually land at the hotel's own pier and enjoy the restaurant, the cafe, or your room. Baltica also has some very nice conference rooms, which used to be free if you also order coffee and cake and stuff, but now they're asking 20 euros per day, which still isn't overly bad for a full-featured conference room with internet and everything. So I've seen much more expensive conference rooms for rent in Finland. What are we pulling here? Ares is pulling. Here's something on his radar, and that's without doubt that little doggy there. Aava has seen it, but has decided it's so far away. Doesn't really make sense to invest any energy in pulling or doing anything else stupid. Nee, bitte nicht darüber ziehen, Mäusi. Ares, bitte nicht darüber ziehen. Nein, nicht darüber ziehen. So ist es fein. So ist es fein. So, aber geh mal. Mine. Husch. Mine. Was ist los, Prinzessin? Bist du schon müde? Aha. Time to brush the teeth on the go. Ja. Und schon haben wir Leinsalat. Ha, Prinzessin Lein? And yay, this is where all the people, at least the ones with the bigger boats, which are the bigger non-metal boats, park their boats in winter, at least if they don't have any nice parking place on their own ground. which is pretty nice because the slip ramp is right over there. And talking about the slip ramp, a couple of days ago we were also going here, and the ice was broken and the Ares was going there, and I made a mistake to step on the ice, and well, needless to say that on the ice I have no chance whatsoever to hold against Ares alone. Not to mention Ares and Aava, so they just pulled me a little bit further, and then suddenly it did a loud crack, and then I was standing about a meter deeper, up to my hips in icy water of the lake, because the ice had broken. Yeah, well, no big deal. From here to home it's something like 4.5 kilometers, and we had +4 degrees on that day, a little bit of wind, so walking fast I made it home without really awful hypothermia, but yeah, always fun with the little wolfies. And that's the other small boat harbor here, or marina if you want to say. Also pretty empty still. Ares hat was auf dem Radar. Ares has something on his radar and goes to hunting mode, and that's the small dog. And I think I take Aava short. Und wir tun nicht ziehen, bitte. No, saa haistella. Se iso on pentu.
Tääkö? 6-7-vuotias.
Oho. Joo, se on 15 kuukautta pentu.
Jaa.
Se tyttö on 3. Se tyttö on 3-vuotias. Hän ei aina ole ystävällistä, mutta tavallisesti se pentu on ystävällinen.
Niin joo. Kyllä siinä on ihan vaan kokoneen. Eihän se nyt enää kauheasti sitten kasva vai?
Joo, anna vähintään 5 senttimetriä.
Niin joo.
Ja nyt hänellä on noin 40 kiloa ja lopussa hänellä on varmasti 50 kiloa. Ares! Na kom! Kom! Nein, bitte nicht ins Wasser gehen. So Ares was giving the little dog a little warning bark. I wonder why was that. Funny. Some nice cloud forming there on the horizon. It looks like more snow is coming. Nee. We don't jump down on the ice, little doggy. wieder was Interessantes. More interesting stuff to sniff. Kommt Mäuse. Is this fine? Nee, nicht da bitte. Aber. Aris. Komm, komm. Komm, komm. Aber. Ja, ja. And that's the new shopping center here. And over there, a little bit further away behind the parking place, is the old shopping center, Koskikara. And the new one here is Torikeskos. And yeah, it's another funny story. Like Kesko, the owner of K City Market, which is one of 2 or 3 big supermarket chains here, has built this abomination and you know, modern and all kinds of crap. And yeah, what's the result? And the upper level is practically empty. There's like, I think 1 or 2 shops in there, and they have what, 10 places. The lower level, there's 1 big shopping area free. And now Ares nicht ziehen bitte. And now the post office has moved there, although they have their own building where they still have the sorting center, which is like one big example of total idiocy, because now everybody has to go to the city to pick up their stuff. One thing you have to know is that in Finland, for example, registered letters are not delivered to the door, and usually packages also aren't delivered to the door unless they are like express, or the sender has paid, I don't know, €1,000,000 extra. So usually you have to pick your stuff up. Somebody's driving backwards without looking. So you usually have to pick your stuff up. So what we have now is a massive increase of vehicle traffic in the city. The post is paying rent for this shop, although they have their own building where they used to have also the office. And the own building is a little bit out of the city center, so it's much easier to get there traffic-wise. And it has its own parking place. And yeah, so big idiocy. And then spending millions to build this super ugly and you know, just bad shopping center was also like total idiocy, because as a result the K group, Kesko, has closed all the small K markets, which were like basically every part of Valkeakoski used to have a small K market. Like at least you know, northern Valkeakoski there used to be one, southern Valkeakoski used to be one, and they're all closed. So if you want to go to the K market for shopping, you have to drive downtown, which means again more vehicle traffic. Because if you go to the grocery, you take your car, you don't walk. Well, I do with my rucksack, but I'm not normal in that aspect. So again, massive increase of vehicle traffic in the city center. People are not very happy about that, because more noise, more pollution, less parking places, and so on and so on. Just